if I have a look at these for myself for real right now, and I'm going to ask you, identify which of the three here you think are the top. For me, I'm going to go for conceptual. I like ideas and theories. I'm also going to go for radical. I like to push my ideas and make things happen. And down the bottom, I'd select logical. But what three right now would you select as three of your top qualities? And which ones do you tend to avoid? For me, sometimes I avoid being accommodating and diplomatic. Sometimes I'm not so observing, I don't choose my words so carefully, and sometimes I ignore the evidence because I think I know best and I'm low on evidence-based. But how would that be for you? And interestingly, sometimes our transformation efforts go wrong because we do too much of a good thing. So I can be so full of ideas I can become unfeasible, or I can, with my extroversion, get a bit controlling of others, or with my outcome focused into win at all costs. But what do you overplay? Which of these words would you be doing too much of that could undermine your ability to bring about a transformation? We can take these different ways of being one stage further and look at how they impact the agile behaviours that an organisation needs to bring about transformation. If we go to the top of the mandala, culturally, an organisation high and inspiration driven will value adapting to goals and letting things emerge, and that's what we need, but it needs to be balanced by the opposite. Can we iterate in a disciplined way towards our goals, and can we have an extreme focus on our goals? If we look at big picture thinking, in terms of agile behaviours, we've got a vision, we come up with new ideas, but the opposite, have we got the evidence that the new ideas are good? Do we have a good strategy for making them happen? With our extroversion, we need to communicate these ideas well and be energised and get everybody jazzed. At the same time, agile behaviours mean the organisation has a habit of listening to each other and considering the different viewpoints. And with the outcome focused, in terms of agile, it's about being committed to delivering more value, always seeking to continuously improve. And in the top left, we do that through enrolling people into our ideas and fundamentally trying to understand other people. Of course, we can overplay our agile behaviours. We can work hard to be agile, but if we overdo it, at the top there we can become so adaptable we never complete anything, and down the bottom we can never have any room to keep our options open. If we have too much vision, we can be chasing pipe dreams, and the opposite, down to earth, our agile behaviours can degenerate into not wanting to change at all. On the far right, if we have too much of the energy getting things going, we end up not listening to people. On the far left, maybe we don't speak up. And in the bottom right, we can overplay our focus on outcomes and we can just overrule people and disengage them. Or in the top left, we might not be decisive, we're forever consulting. So here's an example. This is RCL in South Africa, an organisation some of my colleagues worked with to bring about a huge transformation. You can see here they had a charter which defined their way, our way as they called it. They wanted to be more brave, have more impact, be curious, be more open, more speed, more of that you, and they wanted to have fun in the process. But to achieve this required some significant interventions given the nature of the culture, which was more operational, given the huge number of staff involved in producing and distributing food throughout South Africa. So here are some of the objectives. Well, it was to embed the Our Way culture. It was also to engage and unite their workforce around it, to help their leaders become more authentic, express more of who they really are, and to encourage team collaboration throughout the organisation. These are some of the images from some of the work that was undertaken to work towards the desired culture. And if I was to express this in terms of the 8 aspects that we were just looking at, they identified they needed to be more people-focused, more big picture thinking, and more extroverted, and that would support the culture shift. If we look at this in terms of agile behaviours, actually they wanted more people enrolled into their ideas, more vision and more energy around it. But when we went and plotted the individuals in the organisation, this is one of the top teams and the business unit, each dot here is an individual, we found a large number of their people were leading with their down-to-earth. They were sensible, pragmatic, and quite a few were outcome focused. And consequently, they already had some of the agile behaviours around the bottom of the mandala covered. It was the ones closer to the top that they needed to work on through this initiative. The key stakeholder, Melissa Anderson, was extremely happy that this initiative made people more accountable for their performance, and it really helped the organisation shape the culture through focusing on the leaders role modelling those behaviours. This takes me on to, in fact, the role of leadership here. You'll see now, here's the same team, but the leaders identified the need to role model more big picture thinking. If they had to choose one thing, it was the vision and the ideas that they needed to demonstrate they were embodying to encourage all in the organisation to do the same. So, in summary, back to the 3 questions I posed at the beginning. Why does deep diversity underpin agile transformation? Well, as we've said, successful transformation is rare because we don't put people first. We can turn that round and say the obvious thing to do is to put people first. How does the culture underpin transformation? Well, actually, it's critical to it. You need to start with the culture change, not the technology and not the ideas. And in terms of the role of leadership, well, the leader shapes the culture. How do they shape the culture? They need to role model the transformation that they want in the organisation, and they need to show that they deeply value the diversity across the organisation. I'm hoping you found that a stimulating recap on why deep diversity is helpful in agile transformation.